Hey everybody, welcome back to Quali-Tea time. A little bit late this episode, I know, it's been a bit of an odd day. So, in with the news, new piece of GoPro equipment. This is of course in my big rush up to MCM London on the 28th, so that I can make sure that my video content comes out as stellar as I can make it for this time around, because the last time I went to MCM, it worked, but there were issues and problems with it that made me a little bit nervous, so I thought I would actually try and improve it as much as I can. So, the way I've done that today is I have purchased this lapel mic. It's got a little mini USB at the bottom here, which connects to your standard GoPro. Here's one I prepared earlier. Now, last time I showed you I had something new for this. I showed you off the LCD backpack at the back there. And I don't know if this is the case with the touch version, which is a lot more expensive, but basically what happens is you pop the side off there. By the way, this also leads to the micro SD card, which in my case always tries to eject itself, so I'm going to try and jurig a workaround for that, but basically, you just plug this into the side, and it works as an external microphone that you can actually have closer to the person speaking, or all sorts. It's got a little bit of length in it, so it can be a distance away if it's on like a bipod, or if it's on some kind of handheld thing. But if I plug this in, which I was getting it the right way, you'll notice the LCD goes off at the back there. That is because the Hero 3, I don't know if this is necessarily true of later models or earlier ones, but the Hero 3 only allows for one video output. You might find that a bit strange to note whilst I'm attaching a microphone to it, but the microphone uses a slot back here, which is entirely built for basically anything, and it just happens to mean that this port thinks it's got a video attachment. So consequently, can't have these two running at the same time. A little bit of a pain, but I'm confident I'll adapt. So yes, that is that little piece of news. Once again, that is MCM London from the 28th to the 30th. That is less than a fortnight away, so hopefully I will see some of you there. With that, on to the schedule. Thursday night, we have another installment of Midnight Souls, playing some Dark Souls 3 over at twitch.tv/lionbedmon from 11 PM BST. Alternatively, we might end up doing some more midnight screening, but who knows, we'll find out. On Friday, we have an episode of Spring Realms where we see the development progress on the Cold Forge. On Saturday, we have an episode of Edgington where we're getting quite the influx of settlers. We also tentatively have an installment of D & Dragon Hats at 9 PM from twitch.tv/thedragonhat, but since it is literally the day after Andy gets back from Australia, keep an eye on Twitter for exacts. Then on Sunday, we have an episode of Dungeon Maker. On Tuesday, we have another episode of XCOM 2 where we're testing out mind powers. And also, from 9 PM BST over at twitch.tv/lionbedmon, we have an installment of York Dwarves Live, number 61. Lastly, on Wednesday, Maiding Do, Fuzz manages to find out just what exactly the maid is capable of. And that's it for the schedule. I should note that the episode of Maiding Do that was meant to go out yesterday didn't quite manage it. This was due to basically Overwatch going live, and it probably won't go out today, if you're guessing by the time of this video going out. Hopefully it goes out Thursday. I do intend to have it out before Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that. Anyways, with that, on to the questions for the week. So, from the comments section of the preceding video, we have Master Art, who asks, have you read 1984? If so, what did you think of it? Personally, I'm a bit more preoccupied with 1985. Linus Knudsen asks, what mods are you using for your XCOM 2 series? In order, I have Stop Wasting My Time, which accelerates and reduces repetitive actions to save game time. I have Overwatch All/Others, which adds buttons to Overwatch all remaining troops or all other remaining troops. I then have Evac All, which is the same thing pretty much for evacuation, so it adds a little button to evac all viable troops in the extraction zone. These are mostly just quality of life adjustments because it makes it easier to film things. I don't have to click the button for 5 different people or 6 different people. It's maybe 7 if you're rescuing a VIP, so it's not great. Then I also have the Tactical UI Kill Counter, which is a recent addition, which adds a live count of enemies killed, active and remaining on the map to the combat UI, which helps me know how much more careful I need to tread. And we also have Mission Award Variety, which spices up the after mission loading screen awards with some more comical ones that aren't just the same 6 over time, so makes things a bit more fun. Harvey Chesterfield, is there anything you wish they'd carried over from XCOM to XCOM 2? It might be a little bit obvious, but I wish they'd carried over the shivs. Having Fenrir running around punching people with his massive robot fist is pretty fun and hilarious, but we had the shivs from day 1 back in XCOM, so I kind of missed them a little bit. Maybe if I could have, maybe if I could shove an AI into like a gremlin or something, we could have something similar to that. But that's unfortunate. The other thing I could maybe have done with is the psi operative elements were separate. You could put them onto basically anybody, or at least you could have them meld on basically anybody back in the day. So you can't do that anymore. Having something like that, especially with the focus on gene therapies with the aliens, would have been pretty cool. But I can understand how that might have thrown the storyline and especially the power levels into disarray. But at the end of the day, I'm having a lot of fun with XCOM 2, so I'm not going to complain too much. Lastly, Lamps on Wheels TR asks, if you like Magic, what's your opinion on other trading card games like Hearthstone or Yu-Gi-Oh? I played Yu-Gi-Oh back in secondary school some decades ago. I don't think I ever won a single match. But, yeah. Before that, let me see, we also had Pokemon, but back in my day, nobody actually played the game. We just collected the cards because they were shiny and looked cool. I don't think anybody actually knew what the cards did, or why, or whether it was relevant in the meta at the time, but these days I think there'll be a bit more changes to them. Other than that, I have never touched Hearthstone, but I did play a lot of Duel Masters. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically the gateway drug to Magic. It's designed to be very similar in a lot of ways, and it had an anime series about it, which was comical, and I loved how not serious it took itself. And at one stage, I could name you every single detail of every single card that had been printed to date. Can't do that anymore. Not in the slightest bit. That has been expunged from my memories. But, yeah, I was deep into Duel Masters way back when. Of course, once you got, like, Crystal Lancer out, pretty much everybody just went Crystal Lancer. Crystal Lancer dominated the meta. If that's not bad, I don't know what is. For short, Crystal Lancer basically allowed you to punch your opponent's extremely small health total very, very early, very, very quickly, with very little recourse, because it was unblockable. But, anyways, that was my experience with trading card games back in the day. These days, I pretty much only play Magic the Gathering, and even then, not as much as I'd like to. But, anyways, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll catch you all the next time.